All right. Welcome to the Stronger Together podcast, brought to you by Sandpoint Strength and Conditioning. I'm your coach, Kenny Marquardt, and I'm here with one of our longest standing members, Anita Rotary. And we're going to hear her story, and I'm excited to share that with you. So what I want to hear about is how you started at the gym, like how you found it, what your experience was like when you walked in the door, and just walk me through that. Because that was, how many years ago was that? We figured out
11 years. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
11 years.
So I had a friend that lived in Boise, and they knew I was kind of working out on the side. And they said, "Well, have you ever heard about CrossFit?" And I went, "No." And so, of course, I get off the call and I have to Google it, and I see what it was about. And then I found that there was one in town, which I was surprised because we are a very small little community.
Yep.
So I showed up for the Saturday freebie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I went and did that. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this sounds this seems doable and stuff. And then I was working still. So I had to go to work at 8. So I had to decide, am I going to work out before work or after work? And I knew I could never make it after work. I just want to go home or whatever. So I started coming to the 6 a.m. class.
Yep.
So the demographics of the 6 a.m. class were people that were 30 years old, and I was 63 probably then.
Yeah.
Nope. Let's see. Yeah. 62, 63. So I thought, I went to the class and I thought, okay, well, I'll try it for a while and see if I feel like I can do it at all. And that's when you didn't have any before training.
Nope.
You just threw us in the class.
Yeah, jump in. Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, sink or swim. But anyway, so I just kind of made a commitment to myself to try it for 3 months.
Yeah.
And everybody in the class was so nice to me.
Yeah.
They were so helpful and encouraging, because I would always be the last one to finish. And they were always cheered me on and getting me, motivated to do it. And so after 3 months, I was kind of committed by then. And so I came for, it must have been 3 or 4 years to the 6 a.m. class until I retired. And then I started really loafing and I come to the 9:30 class,
Yeah.
So
that's retirement though. That's ideal.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember what we did on that first day, on that Saturday? Do you have any recollection?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember.
I'm sure it was, again, we were a new gym then. So just as far as what we were, I don't know how much of a recognition we had for how to onboard new people or what it was. It was just kind of like, all right, we'll figure this out. Hopefully you survive.
Yeah. That's when we used to write everything on the whiteboard. And then if you had a PR, you'd ring the bell and stuff like that. So
I keep trying to find a bell. I think people want that back. And I've been trying to find a giant bell.
Oh, okay.
I want a huge one. So if anyone listening
the bell
has a big bell, because I ordered some off Amazon, there was these little 12-inch, and I want a giant bell.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
What happened to the other one?
I think it's up in that creepy attic. I don't know. That's a good question, but I want a giant bell.
Okay.
I think we deserve a giant bell. So yeah, I think that what you said about the commitment to the 3 months, I think that's super important. Like what was your motivation to get started? It sounds like you were doing some fitness stuff before, but what were you lacking there, or what caused you to want to make a change?
Yeah. Well, when I lived in Pocatello before we moved here, I worked at a company that had showers available to them, and I would go run every day. I made a commitment then when I was 45. Okay, I'm going to start running.
Yeah.
So I would run 4 days a week, and it was about 4.5 mile run. And then I left that company, and I could never get back into that routine because I always did it at lunchtime. So
sure.
Once again, if I'm going to do it before work, after work, or whatever, because I couldn't, do it. And then I just struggled after that. I would do different things. I would try, to do it on my own. I went to a gym, I tried all those things, and it wouldn't ever stick. My mind just couldn't do it. I couldn't get into that same mode as when I used to run all the time.
Yeah.
And so, and then I had a grandchild, and then I realized, wow, I won't be able to lift this kid up, pretty soon if I don't start doing something, else. So I was kind of in the search mode at that point, and that's how that came about. But,
I know you have quite a few grandchildren now. Can you lift them up? Some of them.
Well, I can't lift the biggest one up, but I can still lift I try it once in a while. Grab them and lift them just to see I can still lift them off the ground. So the oldest one, there's no way.
Yeah, the one you showed me, I think he's like 200 pounds now.
Yeah, he's 6'4", and he's a tall guy and very fit, and that's cool. You know?
Yeah, it'll be worth ringing the bell for if you can pick him up. And that's why we need a big bell. Well, that's cool. I love that. The motivation for the stage of your life that you're in to try and realize like, I want to be able to do this for a long period of time. And with grandkids coming into the picture, it's all the more exciting to be able to do cool things with them.
Yeah.
Which you are, like you were just outlined before we started here, your travel plans, and you're doing that with mostly, it's all family, right?
Usually, not all the time, but usually it's my daughter and her family. And then sometimes my son joins us. And sometimes his parents join us. So sometimes we have her in-laws. It's crazy.
It's a big,
it's a big group. We all get along. It's really fun.
Cool.
You know, we'll usually get a big house and when we travel and do that. So super fun.
Nice. But you still can, I mean, you're doing all the things that you want to do.
And that was, that is another motivation because we would go to Paris and walk, 9-10 miles a day.
Yeah.
And my son-in-law, he's like a taskmaster on these vacations, we're going here and here and, you got to keep up and drag your luggage sometimes. And, I mean, we have improved our standard of travel through the years as everybody's gotten a little bit more financially stable than from the beginning. We really used to rough it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Now we stay in a little nicer accommodations. And
you're still hauling stuff around, you're still moving and doing.
Yeah.
Because you guys are traveling once a month. It's winter, it sounds like.
Yeah, winter. Yeah. Summer, I usually like to stay here. It's so nice and things like that. So when we golf a lot in the summer.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, you're pretty active here in the summer. I know you play golf. Are you still playing pickleball?
I'm going to start pickleball next week because the new Russell Center is opening, and we're going to get back into that and make that stuff happen again. Yeah,
you're doing the stuff that I think that retirement is kind of like you're kind of living the dream in that way. In staying active and doing the things because I think some people they don't.
I know they don't. I know people that. What do you do? They just don't do anything. And I'm like, sounds so strange to me. Just sit down on the couch and never move again once you retire.
Right.
Just
ride it out until you, I don't know. Yeah. Run out of heartbeats, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Crochet or knit, but that's not going to get you too far.
No, it's not what you worked for, right? I mean,
exactly.
Because Terry's now retired as well.
Terry finally retired at like 70.
Yeah.
One or something. He kept working for a long time, but that's cool. He's retired, and so he kind of has a little workout routine that he does too, but he's still pretty fit. He still goes and climbs up on the roof and does things.
The dumb male.
Scares. I'm like, oh, don't tell me. I don't want to know. You know? I say to him, will you please take your cell phone with you in case you fall off? Maybe you can call for help if I'm not here.
Right.
But
yeah, that's cool. That's super cool. That's super inspiring. I think that's like what resonates with me now. I mean, with a kid, like that's some of my motivation now is watching our son grow up and realize that like I want to be able to do cool things with him, and if he has kids, the same thing. So that's awesome. You're really an inspiration in that way for me. So thanks. Yeah,
I think it helps your kids too because both my kids are pretty physically active. My son likes to run, 30 Ks and things like that. I know it's crazy.
Yeah.
And my daughter works out every day after work, and so I think it inspired him, even though they wouldn't do it with us when they were younger.
Yeah.
Terry and I would go, okay, it's Christmas. Let's go out and do our morning run for Christmas morning. And they would be like,
not interested.
Yeah, not interested is right. You guys are crazy.
But that's a great point too, is like giving, I mean, whether or not they did it at the time, like you setting that example and giving them that gift of showing them that fitness is a part of life to be able to achieve for the long term. Was that did your parents show you that, or did you learn that on your own?
No, not really.
No?
I have to say my dad was always a hiker, outdoorsman. And even when he was at the VA, he would he'd go outside and walk around the building.
Yeah.
But my mom was never much of a exerciser,
Okay.
but my dad was always hiking.
Yeah. So where'd you pick it? Did you just kind of have that internal motivation to do things?
Yeah, I guess I just did. None of my siblings do it except for my sister now.
Okay.
But before I started doing it, she didn't either, but she works out all the time now too. So
hey, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yes. My husband, and I ran the Great Potato Marathon, and she ran the 10K, my sister, but, I did one of those and I said, I'm never doing one of those again.
Check that box and move on.
Yeah,
Never again.
Never again. Yeah.
When did you do that?
Oh gosh, when was that? I was in my probably 40 when I was 47 or 48.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
When you're in that running phase.
When I was in the running phase. Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've swam the Long Bridge once, and I don't know if I do that again.
Check
either.
the box. Do the thing. Check the box and move on.
Yeah. Okay. Did a podcast. They were doing that.
Yeah. We'll see about that. We'll see. You're inspiring people now. Like people are going to hear this and be like, that's what I want to do. So that's great.
I don't know. I always kind of like doing challenges. We've done the Race the River. I've done that 3 times. I haven't done it in quite a while, but I was thinking maybe I should do another Race the River.
That's cool.
Yeah. And we did the what's the one in Spokane called?
Bloomsday.
Bloomsday. We did that two or 3 times.
Yeah. But you can.
Yeah.
Like you have the capability. You can say, I'm going to do this thing.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm still capable. Though my knees are just getting bad.
Yeah.
I have
running.
to work my way through that all. But.
Yeah. But still, I think that's very inspiring, whether you have realized that or not, to show people that, hey, I can do this. And it's not that, I think that some people look at it. I hear it from people when I meet with them that they feel like after 40, it's all downhill. And they can't, I'm just, and I'm not, that's not a joke. I hear that all the time.
Oh my word.
I'm so old now. I can't do anything. So I think that just seems very restrictive for their future. So, yeah.
Well, I think you have to, set your expectations different,
sure.
About what you're capable of doing, at a certain point. I've had a few injuries and, I think I only had one at the gym from jumping rope, trying to do those stupid double unders. Thank you very much. I tore my meniscus, but I've had my own off hours type of injuries. And then, you have to kind of realize maybe you can't do some things that you used to do. And, but you kind of come back, but still I can't lift as much as I was at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like deadlifting and things like that. I can just feel it in my knees. Like, oh, like we did deadlifts today.
Yep.
Yeah. And I got 120 and I thought, well, that's pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's a balance between can and should, and knowing like you are pretty body aware, like having the experience that you have had and the things that you've done, like they're to prolong yourself for keep doing this for 20 more years. Like that's probably not a should. You probably could. You probably do more, but realizing that for the victory for today will help them empower the long term. It's probably I think that by having the training age that you do, you've probably come to understand that better. So that's cool.
Yeah. So every time we get a new coach, I go, I don't do that. And I don't do that. I'll tell you what I do.
Yeah. You're here.
I always think, so do I have a personnel file? We have little notes and you hand it to the new coach and it says, don't tell Anita what to do because she's just going to tell you what she does.
Yes. We have those on everybody. We have secret little
files.
Back channel
permanent
messages.
Records.
That's right. Exactly. Review this.
Yes.
And,
yeah. So don't make her do that.
Yeah. But that's everybody. I mean, I think that's I think every single person in that gym for whatever reason has something that they do or do not do because of something that's bothering them. And I think that again, talking to so many people as I do, a lot of people think that means that they can't do anything and they just shut it down. But having the awareness to say, well, I can't do this, but I can do this. And again, you're the living example of that by being here for 11 years and just like, okay, well, it doesn't mean I'm not coming. I just have to modify and change and still get my workout.
Yes. You have to just set different expectations about what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I've come to that realization and I just work from there. And I just think lots of times I say, oh, well, you made it. You came. You're here. You did it. That's another day.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And sometimes I do forget how old I am, because I'll tell you, as you get older, lots of times you don't, in your head, you're not that old.
Yeah.
And so people will say to me, wow, you're just, I just want to be like you when I get older. And and I'm like, oh, well, okay, thanks. And then I think, oh yeah, I am old.
I guess that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you look around, there's only a few, there's maybe, I don't know, a handful of people that are in their 70s.
Yeah,
10,
I bet there's 10. Yeah, I bet there's 10
yeah,
or 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15.
More than ever.
Mm-hmm.
You were a survivor of the
Mm-hmm.
initial ways that we did things. I think that was
Mm-hmm.
I think we're much more conducive to that, like an older population now. So maybe. But what kept you? I mean, it sounds like internally you just had that, like, but I'm sure it was hard, as it is for everybody, and that's not just a you thing. I mean, everybody. I think we keep people for an average of like a year and a half, which is pretty good for the gym industry. But for 11, like, I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you just kept showing up.
I just hate. I guess that's the same reason I'm still married after 50 years. I don't know. I hate to quit.
Just till death do us part with fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. My dad always said, "Don't quit." We even had a little poem about quitting. And he was a poetry reader and would read us stuff. And it's like, don't quit. Finish what you start. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I'm just committed, and I guess I'm loyal, a loyal person, and you, and so I just hang in there and just keep coming, and I enjoy the people. Yeah. Yeah. I have to tell you a little story about I think it was the first time I did the Murph.
Okay. Yeah.
And so this was when I was pretty new to the gym, maybe the first summer. First summer I started in November, so it might have been the first summer. Anyway, I'd never done that before, and blah, blah, blah. And so I was out doing the last mile run, and I was the last person. And I remember coming around the corner and turning onto Ella, and there were two ladies that ran out to me and ran back with me. Yeah. And I just, that was just like, well, that's so sweet and nice and encouraging. And then everybody's down, people were rooting me to get in. Come on, you can do it, Yeah. Yeah. So
it's cool. I mean, the community thing, I don't think anybody signs up at the gym to make new friends. I mean, maybe, but I don't think most people do. But I think that once you're in the group and you realize the power, and you said people encouraging each other, whether they're first or last, like, I think there's a support group in there that is really hard to put words to, where whether it's a struggle in the gym or outside of the gym, like I see that a lot too, where, you had surgery, a year ago? And
fell and broke my wrist last July. Yeah. I have a plate and 7 screws. Yeah.
And like, everybody's on their recovery, like Lisa's had some stuff. We've had some, it's just coming back. But having the encouragement of wherever you're at in the thing.
I remember I came back for the personal training part. It was after 2 weeks. And he said, well, you can do what you want now.
Yep.
And so I said, oh, okay. So I called you and we set up for personal training. And then I remember having the 15-pound bar, and Kylie said, oh, can you do that? Just do a curl. And I said, oh, sure, I can do that. I went like that and I couldn't do it. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really am in bad shape. But I mean, it really is bad. But I also did a lot of exercises at home too. I went online and did a whole bunch of wrist exercises. But anyway, by the time I went back in 6 weeks, he told me, man, you are so much farther ahead of anybody I see at 6 weeks. So yeah, makes me feel good.
And that's all. I think the same perseverance of just, this isn't the end, or this doesn't, having surgery. And sometimes people feel like they can't do anything anymore. And they say, I got to preserve this. I got to live in a bubble for the rest of my life, because what if it happens again? Yeah.
But that's the worst thing you can do, is not do anything
for sure
after that. Cause then it just really goes bad. I think.
Yeah.
Like I'm like and my wrist is like 99%. There's a few things that if I put a lot of pressure on it that bother it, but mostly I don't even think about it.
Sure. Yeah.
Just don't even notice it anymore.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I mean, so over those years, over the 11 years, like, do you have any major achievements? Or, I mean, aside from just being here and showing up as much as you do?
Well, I did, I've never been much about jumping on those boxes, but there was one day that I did do them. We were just practicing doing them. That's all we were doing, is practicing. And so I did jump the box about 4 times, but like during a workout, I could never do it.
Yeah.
I have to really try too hard. But I felt elated.
Yeah.
I did. When I left the gym, I was just so elated that I did that.
Yeah.
And I do remember the first time I did like over 100-pound back squat.
Yep.
Yeah. I was pretty excited about, wow, 100. I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've seen rewards along the way to reinforce that you're not just showing up and feeling crappy all the time. You're just you're feeling good.
Just when you, like, say, when you go on vacation and you have to hike up the stairs at some place in Japan where we went up these, I don't know, 1,000 steps.
Yeah.
That I could actually make it to the top,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. I did it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's cool. So you started, back to the beginning, you started at 61. What
60, well, let's see, 73, 11 years ago. So 62.
62. What advice do you have for people that are in that decade or phase of life, like for getting going? If they're not going, you had some, like, you were doing stuff.
Yeah, I was doing stuff, but start small. Don't try to kill yourself. That's my advice. Is don't go in there and go balls to the wall.
Yeah.
You can work your way up to whatever, but just show up and just take it easy.
Yeah.
And if you can't do 15 of that number, just do 10.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's keeping track. And
if they are, screw them.
Yeah, too bad for them.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do. Is watch you. But
right.
You just do a less if you want to get started, and you'll be surprised at how much you can increase your weight. Like today we did deadlifts, and there was Cindy who started not too long ago.
I would say 2 years.
Has it been 2 years?
Offhand, that was my guess.
Yeah. Anyway, she did a personal best today.
Cool.
And she said to me, wow, would you believe what I'm capable of doing now? She's a tiny little person.
Yeah.
And she just was super proud. And she's right. When she first started, she couldn't hardly lift anything. And now she did like 150, I think it was today. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So it's exciting for her. And so she's not young. She's not a spring chicken either. Right. And she worked her way up. So
still making progress, still achieving things.
Oh, yes.
It's not a downhill slide into the grave after 40.
Well, that's me on the downhill slide.
No way. That was my next question. Is what are you going to do for the next, what do you want to achieve in your next 11 years at the gym?
I don't know. For a little bit there, I was kind of like, I think it comes and goes with everybody, especially when you've been there long. So I've showed up and I haven't been pushing myself very much. So in the last 2 months, I decided, okay, I'm going to try to push myself. So I have been. And so I've been doing, we've been doing the bench presses and the deadlifts and stuff. And so I've tried to increase my amounts so I think you go through peaks and valleys where you're more committed than others, but
I 100% agree. That's the same with me. In the fall, I'm usually out hunting and screwing around in the woods, and I don't. My fitness isn't, as far as in the gym, is not at its peak form. But there are now is the season I do push more, and I think that's a good. I think people feel like it's all or nothing. And I think that you can just kind of half-ass it in the gym for a period of time, but you're still going.
Yeah, you're showing up, so you're still there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you might travel, you might be sick, you might have other obligations, but if you're still going, you're still on the up. You're maybe maintaining, you might decrease a little, but there are seasons of it all. And we're in the holiday season right now. Right. A lot of people, they're not as adherent as they want to, and they have more to drink, they have more to eat, and that's okay. Yes. But then naturally, as January through February and March come along, it's usually a pretty good time to focus on your fitness. And I think that's good. So what you're saying, I think, is second nature to you, but is really, I don't know, hard for people to recognize. But what you just said is awesome. And what I wish more people would understand is that there are times to push and there are times to back off.
Yeah.
You can't sprint all the time or you'll break yourself or get frustrated.
Or hurt.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I think for a while I was really concerned about, I don't want to hurt myself again, after the accident. So I think most of the summer I took it pretty light. I just did. And
Yeah. But the routine is the, like you said, just showing up. And I mean, even if you don't do anything, still you're getting in the routine of going to the gym.
Yes. Yeah. And it gets me out of the house and I have a little socialization there and interact with people and I like it. So.
Yeah. Good. We love having you in there.
Oh, thanks.
What? Yeah. So I said this for, I don't know how much we got into it, but like over the next 11 years, what does that look like? Again, we can frame it in whatever time frame you want, but
11 years.
Just because you had 11, let's use that number.
Okay. I don't know, Kenny.
That's okay. I mean, do you want to travel? Or just in life, not even in the gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to continue to be able to golf and, play a little pickleball during the winter and travel and keep up with everybody and maintain that kind of fitness level.
Yeah.
Where my grandkids don't see me as some old lady. Too old. In fact, when we did that last the week before the back squats, I said to Matt, because my grandson's workout, I said, I want you to tape me doing my back squat.
Yeah.
And so she did, and I sent it to my 2 grandsons. See,
that is awesome. Yeah. What do they say?
They go, wow, Grandma, that's good. Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I hope they didn't say just that's good. I hope they were really excited.
That's pretty much all they said.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I'm lucky if I get a response from them sometimes.
Yeah.
But,
well, that's that generation. I guess.
That age.
Yeah.
But it's fun to let them know that.
Yeah. Again, for setting that example, when somebody's in their, how old are they?
15 and 12 was the 2 I sent it to.
Got it. So
they're both in wrestling.
Got it.
This year. So
they have no cognition of what the future holds. They're invincible.
They are invincible.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But you are setting that example for them of like, okay, in 60 years, like this is what
you can still do.
Yeah. That's exciting. So hopefully they're bragging to their friends.
Maybe they are. I don't know.
They should be.
Do you think that I don't think at that age they talk about their grandma?
I don't know. Maybe that's my limited scope. But
think about it.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, that's a good point, I guess. But still, like maybe they will someday when they'll brag about you in 10 years when they start to recognize that. At 25.
I can remember being in high school, my mom going, "You need to go see your grandma," and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's what I want to do." Yeah. So okay.
Maybe that's a whole other podcast, is communicating with your grandparents, because it is important.
Yeah, it is. We usually take 3 boys during the summer, and this last summer was the first summer my oldest grandson couldn't come because he had a job. We were in the car and we were talking about it, me and my daughter and I, and he said, "Well, I want to go to Idaho." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know you liked it that much." But yeah, so when they come, we try to do a lot of stuff with them, keep them going, with going to the beach, going on the boat, going on the 4-wheeler, doing all the stuff, getting the BB guns out. And, things they can't do in Seattle. So
yeah, Idaho's a good place for that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
But it's like, oh, that made me feel good.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, again, being active, because going to visit your grandparents and having them sit on their butts the whole time while you play video games is probably not as exciting as going to Idaho and running around the mountains of the 4-wheeler and shooting guns and stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
And they can go out and ride their bikes, too. Yeah. We have bikes for them, so they can go out and ride around the neighborhood, and they really like that too. Because down there they can't, where they live is not really very conducive for riding the bike.
Sure.
Around the neighborhood necessarily.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's awesome. Well, we've been going for about 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
You said you didn't have anything to say, so here we are.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm probably run out of stuff to
No
say.
Way. Yeah. I mean, what would you, I guess I already asked you this, but I think your example for people is just so important. And I don't know, just sticking with it for 11 years and just having the commitment of like, oh, there's going to be good days, bad days. I'm going to make progress at some points and I'm not going to at others, but you just kind of keep showing up. And whether you committed for 3 months and then now you're here for 333 months, or however that is, 350 months. And I think having that mindset of just not quitting and just keep showing up and empowers you to be able to travel and do and play with your grandkids and do all the things.
So yeah, you want to just sit on the couch and spend the rest of your life there, then go ahead. But if you don't, then come to the gym and get fit.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks. Okay. Like I said, you're an inspiration to me and to others. And, it's really cool.
You're feeding my ego. And
Good. Someone should, because it's important and not common. So you are the 1%, and That's pretty cool.
Okay.
So, yeah. Thanks for you being who you are and being with the gym for as long as you have and being a representation to all the others.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right,
Okay,
Anita.
bye.